Well, we're at the end of our little study in 2 Peter chapter 3. We've been talking about the return of Christ. We've been talking about the timing of it, some of the things that happen, and some of our responsibilities as we look ahead. And that's how Peter wraps up this passage. In verse 14, he says, "Therefore, beloved, since you are waiting for these, be diligent to be found by him without spot or blemish and at peace." So therefore, because of everything that we've learned here, because of everything that we've talked about, and because we're waiting for this, because now we're aware of what's going to happen in the future, this is what we need to do. We talked about this a few weeks ago in the book of Hebrews. There is a lot of theology in the book of Hebrews, and then there are challenges to act. So first we must know, then we must do. And that's the formula he's following here. Okay, I've told you these things. Therefore, now, because of this, this is what you've got to do. You know what's going to take place. My friends, you understand that Christ is going to return. And when he does, he will set in motion the destruction of this world, the judgment of all those who are without Christ. So, what kind of people are we going to be? That's what he asked in verse 11, right? And he asks it again. He reminds us that we need to be diligent to be found without spot and blameless. Diligence there implies the application of effort. We need to work at this. We need to really do our best by the grace of God to live in a way that honors him. And we're not talking about salvation. We're not talking about making every effort in order to be saved. He's talking to people who are saved. He's talking to Christ followers now. Remember that faith without works is dead. Faith is the root and the works are the fruit. If we are truly in Christ, then there will be fruit in our lives. There will be a difference in us. We will be without spot and blameless. No, we won't be perfect, of course. None of us will be perfect on this earth. But there will be fruit of righteousness in our lives. There will be a difference, a change. There will be progress in our holiness. That's called sanctification. We've talked about it many times. And that is what God should find us doing and about as our business when Christ returns. Don't be found by him in a state of disarray, of unholiness. Now, of course, there are many in the church, many in the body that are not living in holiness, and it's very possible that they are not true followers of Christ. Christ himself said in the book of Matthew that when he returns, many will say, "Lord, Lord, haven't we prophesied in you? Haven't we done all of these things for you?" And Christ will say, "What? I never knew you." So first of all, of course, we must be sure of our salvation, sure of our faith and trust in Jesus Christ and the application of his grace and blood and forgiveness to our hearts. And once we have that sure and certain, then we must live in a way that honors him. My friends, do not be in the wrong place when Christ returns. Walk with him daily, walk with him faithfully. Trust him for the grace and strength and courage you need to make the right decisions. And be ready when he returns.